You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast
delivering player experience news.
Let's go! The marathon is not defenseless, and we can't let it be taken without a fight. Welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 192. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM on Twitter, and I'm joined over Discord by the Nintendo aficionado and artist extraordinaire, Roshan Warner at Roro.
Hello, hello. Very excited to be here today, sir.
Hell yes. Hell yes. Christian is not joining us, but he is in the chat, so he's with us in spirit. But we do have our DMZ daddy and the Tarkov Teletubby himself, Gage Dempster at Gilbo Biggins.
I'm slightly more excited than Rashan to be here. But not that it's a competition, but just that I thought I should point it out there.
Nice.
We are see about that.
You know what? I'm slightly more excited than you are for Rove. It's just an endless cycle. And thank you.
But we could all agree that Christian is the most excited, if you know.
Christian's the least excited. No, he's the hater boy.
I think Rove's spot on there. I think what he said in the pre-show there. He is the most excited.
I see.
And thank you for that excitement to everyone that is joining us and watching us live in the chat and participating. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com/@podcastpxn and twitch.tv/podcastpxn as well. The topic of the show this week, guys, is the news out of the summer's PlayStation Showcase from today, May 24th. Big show. But first, the show always starts with the quick bites, so guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it. The first quick bite, of course, Mortal Kombat 1 had been announced. It is coming September 19th. The CG trailer for this game, looks gruesome. But we got news that gameplay is officially coming during Summer Game Fest for Jeff Keighley's event not next week, 2 weeks, I believe, from tomorrow. Very, very gruesome stuff coming, I'm sure.
Brutal trailer. I'm glad it's a reboot, though. That's kind of cool. I haven't really played a lot of the Mortal Kombat games. Played a little bit of the most recent one, 11. I think, yeah. But that was basically it. But yeah, good. Glad it's back.
Heck yeah.
I have no connection to Mortal Kombat, but this is cool for people that like it.
Exactly.
Wow. No connection, but
no
connection. I don't like fighting games. I don't even like Smash Bros. All right, I know.
That's fair. But Gage, you might be connected. Little piece that's attached to this here. The first DLC pack for Mortal Kombat 1 has already been leaked. And it includes some interesting names here. The 6 playable characters are said to be Quan Chi, Omni-Man, Ermac, Peacemaker, Takeda, I don't know who that is, and Homelander from The Boys.
Pretty awesome first batch of DLC characters. For a game that's known for its violence, Omni-Man and Homelander, those are both great picks. That's kind of fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
Gonna make you a Mortal Kombat fan before the show's over.
I feel like there's a chance that J.K. Simmons will actually do the voice for it, but there's zero chance that Anthony Starr will do the voice for Homelander. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah, probably.
He does not seem the type of person that is even in this wavelength.
Yeah. Guys, our next quick bite. We got some new images of the PlayStation accessibility controller, which has now gotten a name called Access. So very interesting looking controller. It's like a disc-shaped controller with different attachments that you can put on there. They show like a joystick attachment attached to it with some buttons. Very exciting stuff for people in this community that rely on this type of technology to help them play games, and very cool stuff to see Sony progressing in this.
Definitely. Yeah, I look at this and I don't know how I would begin to operate this, but it's so cool to think that there are people out there who look at this like, this is going to make things easier for me. It's just interesting how that works and how the design of it works. But yeah, like Dan said, this is awesome for those who need it.
Heck yeah.
PlayStation Access, that's good branding. That's a good name. Good name for it.
Absolutely. You don't like Microsoft's name? What is it? The compatibility controller, or I forget what the name is. It's a really goofy name, and I'm like,
Dan, Xbox hasn't been naming things great since
that's
what?
fair.
How far back do we want to go? 10 years? 12 years?
That's fair. Yeah. That's a whole other thing. I had a conversation with Sean about that when Series S and X were announced, and I was like, but it makes sense because it goes with one S and one X, but those names really didn't make sense. So yeah, I get
right. It was making sense out of something that didn't make
right.
sense. So then therefore just kind of compounding.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Dan, everyone had a conversation with their friends when the Series X and the Series S was announced. Everyone was like, why? Why is this happening?
Fair.
Didn't Phil say like that? He's like, it's going to be self-explanatory or something like that. Yeah. He had some weird quote about it.
It will be, because the next console gauge is going to be Series Y.
Dan, that still doesn't explain anything.
No, it was a joke. Because why? Get it?
Why?
There you go.
Good one.
Make it stop.
We'll make it stop with some Nintendo news. Super Mario Game Boy Advance games are officially headed to the Nintendo Switch Online on May 26th. That is Friday. Very soon.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm down to play Yoshi's Island again. I haven't actually played the first Super Mario Advance and Super Mario Advance 2, so that's cool. Glad that they're making their way onto the Switch.
Heck yeah. Nintendo doing good on their backwards compatibility promise, I guess. Now.
Yeah.
For now.
Now. We'll see what happens in the future.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Moving into, of course, some Halo news because it's me hosting. Here we are. Infection has officially returned finally for Halo Infinite, and it is coming at the launch of Season 4 on June 20th. This mode is my favorite casual mode in Halo, so I'm so excited for this to finally be in the game. There was a bunch of stuff they acknowledged in their development call that they had. I won't go over everything, but some of the highlights, they talked about cross-core stuff, which I know Gage is very much anticipating. They said that all of the skins from Season 4 onwards will be, quote, cross-core. The way they're going to implement that is going to be kind of hodgepodged initially until they get the UI in a place where they can do it in a more of a sense that makes sense. But anyways, I'm not going to explain that whole thing. That would take too long. But yes, I think they're still working towards getting that full customization of cross-core across all cores. They also confirmed career rank, which is coming for the launch of Season 4 as well, which will use military ranks to go along with that. Very exciting as well, because fans have been wanting the progression system in place since launch. Of course, every Halo game has had it before, so it's good that we're finally getting it. Of course, it should have already been there from the get-go, but glad that it's finally coming. And they also said that Plaza, which is the remake of Plaza from Halo 5, one of my favorite Halo 5 maps, is finally coming in the first couple of weeks of Season 4 as well.
Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah.
Good stuff all around. Better late than never.
Yes, yeah. It will eventually be 343's Halo 3. Anyway.
Will it? Are you still sticking by that?
I am, yes.
Maybe not the next one. We don't want to reset? Okay, all right.
Moving on, our next quick bite. Alan Wake's voice actor has seemingly I guess this is a little out of date, but has seemingly revealed an October release month. I wonder if this will happen, guys. We'll just leave the audience on edge for now on that.
I wonder.
Yeah.
Anywho,
moving on. This right here, guys. is the exact kind of shit we need nowadays on marketing partnerships. Destiny 2 is getting some collaboration skins or armor, I guess, for PlayStation. It is supposed to mimic Aloy, Kratos, Jin Sakai, and a clicker ghost shell. So they have a really cool mock-ups of these new armors and skin for the ghost. And it looks very cool. And more importantly, it is on all platforms, not just one platform. Very
cool.
I think they added a clicker-based spaceship and Sparrow as well.
Hell yeah.
Alongside the Ghost. But yeah, these are some cool armor sets. I saw a lot of people saying that they think the Titan is the worst. I think the Titan looks dope as hell. But yeah, they're all really cool. I mean, the freaking Warlock has a sword, so it's kind of hard to compete with that. But yeah, it being on all platforms, awesome. Love that.
Can I give you guys a hot take, which has not been... I feel like I'm totally on my own on this one. I think the Ghost of Tsushima one is the worst by far.
Yeah?
I think they all look good.
Yeah.
I think the Ghost of Tsushima one is the worst by far. I think the Titan looks awesome, and so does the Warlock.
The Warlock is the Ghost. Is the Ghost of
Tsushima. Oh, sorry.
No,
that is the one I think that looks the worst. The one that's the Horizon mock-up. That's the Hunter, I think.
Yeah.
The Hunter looks awesome, and so does the Titan.
Hell yeah. Christian says in the chat, Halo snore. You know what, Christian?
He went there.
Still going there. Moving on from there, is the PSVR 2 doing good, guys? Let's check in here. Sales have come in. Sony has revealed that the PSVR 2's first 6 weeks outperformed the original PSVR's first 6 weeks, coming in at just below 600,000 units sold. Specific numbers are unclear on the provided graph below, but the original PSVR came in closer to 500,000. What's interesting to me, I was looking at this chart and I was like, there's one thing that glares at me at this chart, and it's at the end of the chart. It's getting very narrow there. And the PSVR original is on a pretty, consistent incline. And it seems to look like the PSVR 2 is flatlining, and that's not going to keep up if Sony doesn't give us, some games to be excited about.
Right.
Yeah, totally agree. You could have fooled me that this was doing better than the PS VR, but apparently the numbers show differently. But absolutely agree with what Dan's saying, that eventually it's going to either meet the same point as the PSVR and peak pretty soon and then flatline or go down, unless they show cool games. And I don't think they did yet. We'll get to that later. But yeah, it's only a matter of time before it doesn't do as good as the PSVR.
Exactly. They can have a really strong opening couple of weeks and have that it's selling faster than, but that doesn't equate to like total units sold. And if it'll be anything. Now, I will say, to be fair, I think when we were talking about this last, we were operating under the sort of expected numbers, like when analysts say like, oh, this is how much we think it's sold. So it does seem to be selling better than we thought originally, which is good. But like Rashan said, software is king, and I don't think that that's quite there yet, even a little bit at all. But we'll get to that later.
Yes, we will. Stay tuned. Our last quick bite. Prince of Persia's reboot reportedly won't be at Ubi's event here in a couple of weeks, and it is back in a conceptual phase. So apparently, in terms of the development stage, we're in conception right now. Since we took over the project, we've been looking at feedback from the community and finding our own way of delivering the game, explained Ubisoft producer Jean-Francois Noad. I hope I didn't butcher his name there. He continued, now we're building up the team, defining the priorities, putting prototypes together, testing elements, and looking at how we can include community feedback in the development as well. It's still in an early stage, and players should not expect to hear more about the game this year, but rest assured that we're all putting our strengths and heart into this project. Hopefully, let's change it completely, because that last thing we got to look at was...
It looks like I guess they are like rebooting it completely. But I mean, you can't help but scoff just because it's Ubisoft. But at the end of the day, this is a good thing that they are rebooting it and they're not just putting out whatever they have or rushing it. So it's good to see that they're rebooting it and trying to make the best product that they can. But again, it's Ubisoft. So I'm like, oh, great, here we go again. Another Ubisoft game that's not doing so hot. But hopefully they could turn it around, and the fans deserve it. I think there's a lot of Prince of Persia fans that would like this to be good. So they deserve a full product when it comes out.
Agreed. Christian says they're rebooting the reboot.
Oh boy.
And he's not wrong. That's the kind of crazy thing. Yeah. What's unfortunate about what Roshan just said is that's kind of how it is for all of Ubisoft's legacy franchises. There's like a die-hard fan base for each one that just wants it to come back. That's what I always say. Ubisoft has like some of the most wide, varied catalog of any publisher, and they just have squandered it. It's crazy. It's like whatever you could say for Prince of Persia fans, you can say for Ghost Recon fans, you can say for Splinter Cell fans. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Come on, Ubisoft, get it together.
Indeed. Keurig says he's waiting for the inevitable price drop for the PSVR 2. So you may have to
not
wait.
a bad idea. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, it may be a while. That's true.
All right. Let's move into our street meat item here. We got one to run over real quick. Sorry, that was good. Come on.
It was good. I laughed. I giggled.
I could see Christian rolling his eyes right now. Some Assassin's Creed Mirage leaks have come out here from Insider Gaming, of course, Tom Henderson's outlet. On YouTube, a creator uploaded a video featuring a ton of leaks for Assassin's Creed Mirage. It cites a 15-hour story, a Unity-sized map, of course, Assassin's Creed Unity, entirely stealth-focused, and it has a reputation system. It also says it launches October 12th, and it says it's a pinch of salt time. Well, it may not be such a pinch of salt, as we'll find out later in the show, but at least about one part of that. But yeah, Gage, yeah.
Okay, but with this whole pinch of salt thing, are you guys not realizing how good Street Meat was as an idea for naming? All of it, right? See? It all comes together.
Genius. We laughed at him at first, but no, he was on to something.
You called me crazy. Stood there and called me crazy.
Yeah.
All right, but I was a pioneer.
We shouted it from the rooftop.
You had a vision. Yeah.
I had a vision. That's you goddamn right.
Oh gosh. All right. Into the PXN news of the week, guys. I put this one first here. I think this is very important. Of course, Ro, you chatted in our discussion in DMs about this. I tweeted about this as well. I think this is super important to cover. I think we give Nintendo a lot of hate, and a lot of people give Nintendo a lot of praise. In this circumstance, Nintendo deserves a lot of praise for this. So Eiji Aonuma essentially said that when he announced in March of 2022 a delay for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the game was pretty much complete. So pretty much 100% content complete. The last year was spent on polish, making sure the wild physics of the game just work. So Nintendo gave that team an entire year just to polish the game. It was content complete for a year. Insane.
Yeah, that is awesome. And like you said, we give Nintendo a lot of flack, as they should deserve, and sometimes we give them a pass when they don't deserve it. So it's fair to give them criticism when it's deserved and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that we shouldn't do that, but this is definitely a Nintendo W that I hope to see the industry follow this example, I guess, because Tears of the Kingdom is a huge success, and everybody could potentially have that. Maybe not that successful. It is a Nintendo game at the end of the day, but you can maybe get a piece of that pie if you just wait a little bit longer, polish it to the extent that it needs to be polished, take the time you need, and maybe have a banger on your hands as well.
Yeah. The nature of video games, it makes it kind of unique in the sense that it's software, so an extra year will never hurt any project.
Right.
Like, that's the thing. Like, if you have something that is not something like in conceptual stages, we're not talking about Duke Nukem that's taking 10 years. We're talking about something that is, okay, we could launch this today as a product. No game will ever be what will like lose from having an extra year of polish, right? So that's kind of a unique thing with video games. So this is all they absolutely deserve praise for this. Also, just to correct you, Dan, I personally don't think I give Nintendo any hate. I give them criticism, which they earn on a monthly basis. It almost seems. But yes, they absolutely deserve props for this. This is awesome. That's the one thing with Nintendo that I don't think anyone has ever. I don't know. It seems like they know what their core franchises are, and even if it's entirely business motivated and all about the money, they still see that in a way that knows like, okay, we really have to treat this with respect. So when it comes to like the Mario Karts and the Zeldas and and like the Super Mario Odysseys and all that stuff, like they're usually pretty good about hitting the mark. So with the amount of pressure that was on this sequel, I could see that this was probably one of the easier negotiations between the studio and the executives, and like, hey, let us do our thing. And by God, they actually gave them time. What a world we live in, because this is awesome to hear. This is nothing but a positive in my mind.
And here's the thing, like for other people in the industry looking at this, like the extra year of polish is, making your game that much better. Like you're not going to release a Redfall, for instance. Like there may be problems with the game still, but it's not going to release at a 5 out of 10, or at least I wouldn't think so in terms of like mechanically, like. Right.
Well, let's look at, let me take it one step further. A year of polish, an entire year, surely that's the difference between a 98 and a 96 on OpenCritic, in which case that changes the conversation entirely. That goes from Tears of the Kingdom is a crazy follow-up. They actually did it. It's just as good as the first one, to what we actually got, which is this is now by some metrics the best game of all time. That's what an extra year of polish will do for you. Like that is a quantifiable thing we can look at right now and say like, yeah, you know what I mean? It could have been a 97, right? Without that year. And that's being generous on the opposite side of the argument, is saying they would only go down a point or two. So like that is something that you can look at. Now here's the part that makes me angry is that they're not going to. Nobody is. Bobby Kotick's not looking at it and going, if I treat them like human beings, if all those Treyarch workers in the basement, if I let them see the sun, maybe they'll like, no, that's not unfortunately how it works. Even though you're right, Daniel, it's right there, clear as day. Like,
Yeah. Kurik in the chat says that is how you make a game. It shows give a creative team the time they need, and it's a win for everyone. Looking at you, Hello Games, CD Projekt Red, and Bethesda. Damn,
this man speaks the truth.
That's fair. Very fair. All right. Well, moving into our second news of the week item. Sony's continued acquisition plans have been detailed. As reported by the Financial Times, Sony is considering a partial spinoff for its financial services business to focus on its entertainment and image sensor offerings. For those unaware, a partial spinoff is where the parent company decides to publicly list a subsidiary but retains a minor stake in it, usually to raise more capital. Sony president Hiroki Totoki addressed this at a news conference and said, in order to expand our growth over the medium to longer term, we will need the ability to invest in image sensors and the entertainment business at a completely new level. So essentially, it sounds like they're possibly considering this to get a bunch more money to try to go out and buy some more acquisitions, like, maybe a Square Enix or maybe a Capcom or something like that, more substantial, especially in the case if Microsoft is able to get the Activision acquisition to somehow go through. Very, very interesting kind of seeing this, because it definitely gives them a little bit more of a chance to get a bigger publisher or developer or whatever than they would previously have been able to.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how this pans out. A Square Enix underneath PlayStation kind of sounds interesting. I think at the end of the day, I always want them to not be underneath anybody.
Right.
But Square Enix is such an interesting one to me because they always they're so inconsistent. Sometimes they have such an incredible game like Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then they have Babylon's Fall the day after, or Godfall, and then they'll release Kingdom Hearts 3, and it's all over the place. And I feel like if PlayStation was at the head, similarly to how we're thinking with Xbox and Activision, they might be a little bit more focused and maybe put out some better games more consistently. Obviously, we don't know if that's going to be true for Xbox. We won't know if it's going to be true for PlayStation. But just in my mind, I imagine if they had the money and PlayStation behind them, they may maybe focus on certain titles as opposed to just doing all these ones willy-nilly. I don't know how it works, but I think it would be interesting to see.
I think you're exactly right. I think if a Square Enix that's owned by PlayStation, I think you'd see a lot less releases, but those releases, hopefully, unless it's just a complete miss, like the concept isn't there or something like that, I think you'd see an overall bump in quality. I think you're exactly right. PlayStation would probably hone them in and kind of like, all right, well, you've got 6 ideas on the board. I can tell you right now, 2 of them are awful. So let's scrap those.
Don't do Godfall 2. Don't do that.
Yeah,
one.
No, we're not going to do that. And we're not. And that trailer needs to get redone. We're not having somebody say chaos 6 times in 1 minute. But yeah, so I think you're dead on. I think that. But at the same time, this is what I've said with this Microsoft transaction with their trying to acquire Activision Blizzard, is that as much as I think Activision Blizzard would change for the better, there's just something about like a massive company buying another massive company that makes me uneasy. So it's kind of like, it's been my opinion that like I almost feel like, and I'm not saying this sounds like I'm coming from it from a spot of like an Xbox fanboy, but I don't mean it like that. I mean it in the sense where it's like, I don't know, if this Activision Blizzard deal doesn't go through, I almost kind of want to call it there and be like, all right, no more big companies buying any big companies. Let's have this be the final chapter in this, right? You know what I mean? But at the same time, like that doesn't make any sense in the real world. So, but I don't know. So yeah, part of me is, it's kind of the same as the Activision thing. Like, do I think Square Enix would probably be better if they had some adult supervision? Probably, but at the same time, it's like, well, Sony is already pretty predatory, and they don't even own Square Enix, and you know, I wouldn't blame somebody for thinking that they do based on some of the deals they have. So obviously, if they do get Square Enix, they're locking down that IP like day one. That's not even a question.
And even about Square Enix specifically, like there's good and bad with that, because like Square Enix fits almost exactly what Sony traditionally does, like single player experiences. Of course, there is a game that we'll talk about here in a little bit that is not that, but for the most part, I feel like they are that, and so that makes a fascinating. Of course, Final Fantasy MMO, but yeah, I feel like traditionally they do a lot of single player stuff. So there's, you know, good in terms of familiarity, but bad in terms of it's not expanding what Sony's doing as much, like in terms of like multiplayer right. and you know, advancing competition on that front. But yeah, very interesting. All right. How about a quick fantasy draft check-in real quick here? We've got Street Fighter 6 coming up June 2nd, and of course, Ro has that locked in. So we'll be getting maybe some reviews next week, maybe, because it's next Friday.
Hopefully. Yeah. I'm expecting good things. Not like 9s out of 10s, but hopefully some 7s and 8s, you know?
Yeah. So you're thinking maybe 7. Maybe I should counterpick that. If it gets a 7.
Yeah.
That might be
maybe.
Maybe I shouldn't.
maybe I'm saying that so you do.
That's yeah.
And maybe he's telling you this so that you don't counterpick it on the assumption that you're going to counterpick
exactly,
it.
Yeah.
Reverse psychology. Can't do this. And then a few days later, we've got Diablo 4, which I know, Gage, you're very excited about that, and so am I. So
yeah, but you have it picked for this, don't you?
I do have it picked.
Yeah, so then I'm not excited for it anymore. I'm gonna boycott this game.
Come on.
No, I'm gonna be there. I'm buying the Simp edition in my mind. That's already decided. So that's something that's happening. The Simp edition that lets you play 4 days early. Absolutely. Yes.
I can't believe I did that for Marvel's Avengers. I can't.
Now, did they do it the same? Because this is the first time that I can think of. I'm sure it's not, but for a game that I'm excited about, they scheduled it perfectly where it launches on a Tuesday, but the amount of time before they give you is the Thursday. So it's like, it's the difference between going into the weekend and having it and not. Like I was thinking about that, and I was like, they've spaced that out brilliantly. Where it's like, of course I want to buy it on a Thursday and have it for the entire weekend for the extra $20 or whatever.
Hell yeah. I hope I have Zelda done by then. I don't think I will.
Not a chance. Well, maybe.
Yeah, no,
Maybe.
not a chance. You're right. So with that being said, leading into what you got for me, Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. I am still playing it, and I still feel like I've accomplished virtually nothing in the main story. But I am doing a lot of the side stuff, and I've already explored multiple towns as well. Like every town I go to, I just have to literally check every building, every nook and cranny. Like I can't do any. I won't even do any quests until I literally check out everything first in each town I visit. So yeah, that's holding me back a little bit in terms of progressing the story, but I'm having lots of fun. So
Some say that's all that matters with video games.
that's true, actually. Yeah. Because like the story, I have no freaking clue what happened in Breath of the Wild, but that game was such a banger of a game in terms of gameplay. I didn't really care. So like,
Right.
yeah. Anywho, all right. That's all I've got for Tears of the Kingdom. Stay tuned for more. Ro, what you got for me?
I've also got Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's so good. Oh my god. I beat the I said to you like no chance that you beat it, but you could beat it, but I said that because I know you said that you were early on in the game, but I did beat it. I finished the main story. But even beating it, it's still in my mind. I'm still thinking about this game. I'm still going back to it and exploring because there's still so much for me to explore in different parts of Hyrule, whether it be above or below. I can't wait to talk spoilers with you guys. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to take away any of those moments for you. But the story for me was really, really special. I cried near the end, but the music, oh my god, dude, the music is so good. But yeah, and Twitter has been really good about spoilers. I noticed about this game. Every time I go on Twitter and Tears of the Kingdom is on there, it's never about the story. It's just about the cool, wacky stuff that you could do in the game. I don't consider that really a spoiler. But jumping off that, the different things that you could do when fighting and just exploring the world, I'm still like finding new ways to navigate Hyrule. It's a blast. It's just so good. I think I'm going to be playing this for a very long time.
Hell yeah. I will be too. Gage,
I wish I was playing
Tears
Zelda.
of the Kingdom, right?
No, I do not. Although I'm gonna look into that. I think I've I don't know. I haven't been playing much. I'm actually kind of going through a phase where I am not really playing a lot, but I'm kind of like reading a lot of articles, almost as if I'm getting ready for like a big purchase, almost as if I'm getting ready for an acquisition, if you will. Where I'm just kind of like going through Steam and looking at reading articles about these sort of niche indie games. Just trying to get back into some indie stuff, but as of right now, I'm playing modded Halo, and diplomacy is not an option. Shout out, tiny little RTS game on Steam. Highly recommend. Base builder RTS, good stuff. But aside from that, nothing nearly as exciting as Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of my kingdom, looking in at your kingdom.
Nice.
Very nice. And just to check in, Christian, because he wrote something here. Christian has played 40 hours of Tears of the Kingdom and has still only done one major thing. So he sounds like
he's not very good at Tears of the Kingdom. That sounds like a really low success rate, and I wouldn't be surprised from a fake gamer like Christian.
Oh wow. Oh shit. Hope he's not still in the chat listening to
I hope he is. Christian's not here to say anything. This is like the best time. Just start taking swings.
Swings. How about we take some swings at the topic of the show? Here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are. Summer PlayStation Showcase news. Of course, for May 24th's Showcase event. Here we go, guys. Jumping in. I just wrote everything here chronologically as it was going through, so we're just going to dive through it. Obviously, if we don't have much to say, we can move quicker on those, and then we're going to have a lot of things to talk about that I'm sure we will dive deep into. Yeah. The first one, though, Haven Studios, of course, Jade Raymond's studio, has announced Fair Games with a $sign at the end, not the S, just to be clear, and it is coming to PlayStation 5 and PC, and it looks like a heist type of multiplayer game. It looks very cool. And Interesting.
Does it look very cool?
Okay, it looks.
Does it look very cool?
It looks interesting.
I'm ready to stop pretending that we care about this game. But
honestly,
I know Jade Raven.
Did you not get the feeling like this game kind of seemed like Payday meets like Contraband, even though we haven't seen Contraband yet? Like,
I definitely saw some Payday comparisons online.
I didn't see anything. I saw a CG trailer, my guys.
Yes, that's fair.
Yep. And I want to talk about CG trailers as we go on. I don't want to like blow my load now because I have some thoughts on CGI trailers later, and there'll be lots of opportunities to talk about them because there are a lot.
Yes.
But again, like Geisha, we didn't see that much. But based on what we did see, I did see a lot of people comparing it to Payday just based off of the heist stuff, I guess. But yeah, I didn't think it was the Haven. Well, they said it right at the beginning, but this wasn't what I was expecting, I guess, from the Haven game. But yeah, I'm excited to see more. I'm excited to see anything, I guess, from this game. Yeah.
Very fair. Very fair. All right, moving on from there, we saw a game that looked, and I got criticized by Christian for this, but I want to put this on note that this game looked exactly like an ODST dropping in with a drop pod, and even the characters look like ODSTs. I was like, is this like ODST Battle Royale? Like, no. This is Helldivers 2 coming to PlayStation 5 and PC in 2023. And of course, Ro, you have some experience with the first game.
Yes, I played the hell out of this game on the PS Vita back in the day. It is so fun, very challenging twin stick shooter. And that was kind of one of the things that I was disappointed by, that it's like it shifted to this like third person shooter position, which is fine. I third person shooters are fun, but I kind of like the top down twin stick view of the original. So I'm kind of sad that they did away with that, but this still looks like lots of fun. The aliens look like the aliens. It looks like it's going to be challenging. It has that brutal humor with everybody getting squashed by the drop pods coming in. So yeah, I'm excited to dive back into Helldivers once it comes. I saw a lot of people saying that maybe this is a PlayStation Plus game, and I think that would be a kind of a good idea. Even though there's a fan base for it, but I don't think it's as big as PlayStation would want. So I feel like doing a PlayStation Plus tie-in would be kind of smart, just to get an audience right there.
I'd be curious to see what kind of audience they found on Steam, because from what I understood is that like I had never heard of Helldivers until it was on Steam, and then I started seeing advertisements for it. I started seeing it come up in my YouTube like recommended, and I remember actually talking to you about it. You said that you played it and that you really liked it, and so yeah, I'd be curious to see if that changes anything. Because this isn't an in-house IP, right? This is something that they've kind of acquired, or it's owned by this studio that makes it. I'm not sure how that works. Could this be a day and date PC thing? Is what I'm getting at, or no? Like, I don't know how high up on the PlayStation chain this IP is.
This is third party, so it's coming.
This is third party.
Yeah, it's coming PC and PS5 day and date.
That's very exciting then, because sign me up. I like this. I like the look of this a lot. I'm guessing you played this handheld, right, Rashid?
Yeah, I did.
Yes. So twin stick lends itself really well to that. So as somebody like me, selfishly, who's desperately looking for some really good third person shooters, I'm all about this. I'm all about this. And to Dan's point, like I think it's heavily inspired by ODST. I think it's okay to say that things can be inspired by other things and they're still great, i.e. The Expanse. But I'm very excited. This looks awesome. This does look like a bunch of ODSTs just shooting aliens, and that sounds fun. That sign me up. This looks great.
Yeah. And we got our next one. EA Originals announced their game called Immortals of Avium with a trailer. This game got gameplay unlike a lot of other things, but didn't really do a whole lot for me. So
I already forgot it. I don't know what this is.
Yeah. It's kind of like it has like a magic, like Skyrim-ish feel, but like a cheap, cheap Skyrim-ish. Yeah.
I remember this guy. It had the guy from Never Have I Ever on Netflix. He was the star or one of the stars of that show. That's the only touchstone I have for this. But this didn't do much for me either.
Fair enough.
Was this the one with the guy that has the really deep, raspy voice? Is that who you're talking about?
Possibly. I don't remember.
No. Yes.
I don't. Yeah.
I don't know. Never mind. Backtrack. Keep moving. Never mind. Forget it.
All right. The next one, 505 Games, and one more level announced. Ghost Runner 2 coming 2023. Of course, this game, sequel to a great original game that I couldn't beat because it was too difficult.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this one looks cool.
Yes.
Cool that it's getting a sequel. I also didn't beat the first one, but it was cool. It was very cool. So I'm excited for those fans. We did get gameplay at the end. I was trying to remember if it was just CG again, but no, the gameplay just looks that good.
Yes, I really like the aesthetic of the first game, and this one looks very much to continue that neon influence throughout the buildings and such. So very much interested. Just make it a little easier for me. I got stuck.
It's coming out this year, 2023 as well.
Then we got Phantom Blade Zero, which is coming to PS5. And we got some interesting and really cool fighting animation style that Gage was commenting on. He's like, man, look at that animation.
There was specifically a move set. This is, you don't know what's scripted and what's not, to be fair, especially with things like this. Like there's another game that has been getting a lot of buzz for a lot of years, except for recently where people are starting to question it. But I think it's called Wukong Black Myth or something like that, which has been looking super cool. But then you never know what the finished product looks like. But there's a moment early on in the trailer where it looks like he was fighting like 3 different people, and it looks like the character did like a deflect, but 2 people attacked him, so he did like this weird little, he pointed his sword one way and kicked the other guy, and it did like this little twirl. And I was like, if that's dynamic like input, like that's just what happens if you hit deflect at the time that 2 people attack you, and it's able to choose that animation that fluidly. Yeah, like that is insane. It reminds me of like a supersonic version of like Assassin's Creed 3 when that was the first game that introduced where if 2 people were attacking you from different sides and you did like a counterattack, it would do this cool animation. But even then, the camera would punch in and it would rearrange people as needed. This, on the other hand, looked like, I was watching this and I was like, if this is all like dynamic, fluid gameplay, this looks incredible just from a snapping animations to and from and choosing what to kind of play. Like that part of it looked really impressive to me.
Yeah, I was impressed by the combat as well. Like Naughty Dog games like Uncharted and Last of Us do stuff like that, where depending on the situation that you're in, the animations are a little bit different. So it'd be cool if they just took that to another level with the sword and the kicking and all that kind of stuff. But the pairing is what was really impressive to me, where it's just like super fast stuff. Yes. And again, I don't know if that's going to be you actually tapping the button super fast. Probably not, but it still looks really cool. And that is enough for me.
Yes, this is the small. I think this is the small brain thing where it's like this is just gonna be it's gonna be like a cookie counter, but you're playing like you're doing action based combat where you're hearing all the tings and like the walking, and it's gonna make my brain like very very happy.
You guys saying those things is my exact reaction to the first Spider-Man being announced with Insomniac, their gameplay, because I'm like, there's no way that you'll actually be able to like control this and it'll actually feel like this, but then it did. So like maybe it will.
Hell yeah, no, for sure, it's definitely possible. And well, Roshan brought up a great example. Naughty Dog is probably the prime example of that, because it's not. The impressive part isn't just having different animations that choose to play at certain times. It's being able to blend them and not make your character look like an octopus, which is really, really hard to do. And Naughty Dog is the best example that you could have brought up for that, especially Last of Us Part 2, especially with the dodging and all that stuff and leaning in the cars, which still to this day is so fucking cool. Yeah. And it's sliding through things. I forgot about that feature until my second playthrough. That's so cool.
Oh, yeah.
So
Really
when you can just decide to quickly kind of nudge through things, and it's like, oh, this is pretty cool. But so if this game has that in like a sort of third-person melee-based kind of combat, oh my god, that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah. Glenn, don't get ahead of us. He said, can we all take a moment to appreciate
Glenn, we'll get to
Rose
Dragon's
shirt.
Dogma 2. Just settle down, Glenn. We'll get there.
He wants to appreciate Rose shirt. We gotta wait on that though.
Thank you though. Thank you.
All right. Giant Squid, of course, the developer behind Abzu and the Pathless, has a very Journey-esque game coming called Sword of the Sea, and it is coming to PS5. I think the lead artist is the same artist who worked on Journey, so yeah, it looked very Journey-esque to me from that first trailer. Looked very interesting.
Yeah, this looks pretty cool. Very, like you said, very Journey-esque because, same minds, I guess. But Journey was kind of the only one that I played. I didn't play Abzu or you said there was another one, right? I already forgot what it was called.
I already forgot as well.
And the Pathless.
Yes.
Which is one that I actually wanted to play when I saw the trailer for that, but I never got around to it. But this looks cool. Beautiful art. I don't know if I'll play it, but it definitely looks cool.
Question for you, Shan. I'm curious. Did Journey affect you the way that it affected most people, where it was like this kind of like really seminal experience, or was it?
No, not really. No, I think I am definitely in the minority on that. But it was beautiful, really beautiful.
Right.
But I don't think it hit me the same way that it did so many. It could be that I kind of watched a lot of it before I actually played it myself. The ending wasn't ruined, but yeah, it's not like on my list of like games that I love or anything. But yeah, really,
this harkens back to my researching of which games I should play and go back to play and all that stuff. So
I think you should try it. It might do something for you though.
Very good point.
Yeah.
You know what did not do anything for me? The next one, the Talos Principle 2. I don't really know a whole lot about this franchise, and the trailer really didn't do a whole lot for me. It was just kind of a voiceover CG trailer.
Yep.
Yeah. Anywho, that's that. The Talos Principle 2. The next one, Neva, is coming in 2024. I wrote down here, cool art direction.
Yes.
Bro's very, very down.
I was in the moment I saw the flowers on the field and then the bird falling and then turning into flowers on the field. But yeah, this it's from the people who made Gris, which is another beautifully illustrated game. I don't think we got gameplay unless we did, and it looks like this all the time, which is very possible from this developer. But yeah, I'm down. It's coming to Xbox as well. But yeah, looks like one of those games where I'll cry.
Always love the tear jerk.
Yes.
Or just regular jerkers too.
Okay. Well, Christian's already here, so I mean.
Zing Zao.
Yeah. This next one, I couldn't help but laugh. I was watching this at work, and I couldn't help but laugh out loud when this title came up. And the game is called Cat Quest: Pirates of the Caribbean. Like Caribbean.
Hell yeah, dude! I'm buying this on principle alone.
Of course.
A game like this, a game with a title that's this cringy, deserves to be on my shelf forever.
Once in a generation game right here.
Also looks kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. Like this looks like a fun a handheld game.
Yeah, this would be nice on the Switch for sure.
No, I know, but it
was.
It was, and no, it will be. It will be because of the thing later, the very end. Dan, if your old memory serves you correctly.
Oh, it will.
Coming 2024. I mean, that's
is that what it says?
Yeah, I didn't steal that. I mean, I didn't make that up. I stole that
2024
at the end of the
Oh, it is multi-platform. So
I was talking about the end of the showcase, the thing that was maybe it will be a handheld, but we'll get to that.
I gotcha now. Okay. Well, sort of. I guess with an asterisk, maybe. Anywho, we'll get to that though. Sorry.
What are you gonna do with all that asterisks, you know?
Yeah. All right. So Square Enix, we teased it a little bit before, has officially shown Splatoon 4. Oh, wait. No. It's a new multiplayer game called Foam Stars. And definitely looks like it took inspiration from Splatoon. Instead of your, ink blots, you've got foam that you're shooting out in different colors. So foam it up, boys.
This looks terrible.
Christian will be foaming it up on day one. There's no way he's not. I don't think he can even help himself. I think it's just kind of like it'll just be a response. But Christian will have this day one. I'm calling that now. Add this to my summer predictions or whatever.
Wow, really?
My goodness.
Heard it here first.
Yeah, this is a Square Enix game, I guess.
This is one of those games that might not make the cutting board.
This is one of the games that PlayStation would have been like, maybe don't do that if they do acquire them.
Explain to me why.
So why do you think this is a good idea? Is this going to make us money or? Oh my goodness! Yeah, this is a no for me. Don't insult Splatoon like that, Dan. How dare you? But I do see the comparisons for sure.
Yeah,
but
this is
not
definitely one of the games of all time for sure.
One of the
for sure. And the Splatoon, the colors they work. This is like the colors are too much for me. Like when I'm looking at this is like you pick the worst colors possible for this.
Right.
Not complimentary.
Yeah. I mean, pink and turquoise are supposed to work. I just don't know why they aren't working here.
Well, shoot.
Yeah.
The Plucky Squire is the next game here. And actually, I thought it looked pretty fascinating in some parts. Like, it kind of gave me, like, is it Paper Mario that does the kind of 2D, 3D thing? Or I feel like one of the Mario games did.
Yeah, Paper Mario does do that. It's like a paper in a 3D world. Yeah.
Wasn't there one called Sunshine that did that too? Where you're hopping around from island to island? Or is that full 3D?
That's full.
Yeah.
3D, yes.
Okay, never mind.
That's the successor to 64. But yeah, I thought this looks kind of interesting. You fold yourself into like the world or the like flat objects, and then you can pull yourself out into the 3D space. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I think we saw this at Game Awards or something a while ago. But this is just the a newer trailer. But I think they've shown this one before. But yeah, it's still impressive. Even seeing it the second time, it looks really cool. So I'm excited to play this.
Yeah. And Gage is excited to play this next one, Tear Down, which is coming this year.
Ooh. Yes. Very cool. Although there's, speaking of asterisks, there's an asterisk. That depends if it has some sort of mod support. I know Sony doesn't have one on their system, but like some games will have like right before the game launches on console, they'll be like, oh, we've got an in-game sort of browser that you can use. So if that's something that happens, I think that's pretty big. If it's just the base game, I can't speak to that, but I know that the game is picking up steam, no pun intended, on PC because it's got quite a lot of creations that people are making in it. So it's one of those games where you're watching and you're like, actually not to the same extent, but kind of like similar to Zelda, where you're like, oh, I definitely could not do all of that, but it's insane that people can do that. So that's kind of one of those games.
Very cool. Destruction, not destructin. I don't know what word that is, but destruction mechanics. It's very cool. It kind of reminds me of like Burnout meets, Mega Blocks or something. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. Kind of cool. Keurig agrees with us, by the way. Total Splatoon ripoff as Foam Stars. Of course. Moving on. We got a tease for a new game. And at first, I thought it was going to be a Grounded ripoff. We saw a little ant crawling on the ground, and I was like, are they going to make a little Grounded, look-alike here? But it ended up being Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater remake, officially coming to PlayStation 5, but not just PlayStation 5, as we'll find out later. Jeez.
Indeed.
Who's making
this? Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, even Konami's logo wasn't even there. Like who's? Well, was it? I feel like it there was like nothing at the end, just
True.
The Metal Gear logo. I could be
no,
wrong.
you're right. No, it didn't give it. There was zero information aside from that. It's Metal Gear Snake Eater.
Yeah, this and the next one I'm excited for because I am one of the people who have never touched one of these games before, so I'm excited that is getting a remake, and potentially this could be like Konami, if they are involved, entering their Capcom era, and they just remake all the Metal Gear Solid games, and they're awesome, and everybody loves them again. That would be awesome. I would love that.
That'd be huge.
But again, it is Konami, so you never know. But yeah, this is cool. This is very cool. Sucks that we knew that it was going to happen eventually, or we assumed it was going to happen eventually. But
Right.
still, very cool stuff for the Metal Gear Solid fans out there, and people like me who want to play it.
Oh yeah, I'm with you actually. I played Metal Gear Solid 4 and I was not big into it, but I'm willing to give it another go.
Yeah. Me too.
Like yeah. And to lead into what you were alluding to there, Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1, made that clear, is coming August this year, and it's the only thing that Christian cares about with this context here.
Yeah. Similarly to the Metal Gear Solid remake, I'm excited that these games are becoming more available, because I feel like they were, and then they took them down, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Kind of sucks that they took them down and then put them in a new package to sell, but still cool.
Yeah.
And this includes the original Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, and the original Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. So, cool. Our next one, good luck to me trying to pronounce this. Powers of Agaspa.
Nailed it. That's what.
Excellent.
That's it. Yep.
I think that's exactly what they meant when they made that name. Yeah.
Definitive name translation right there. Yep. I honestly don't really remember this. Oh, this is okay. This is like a bit of a moody. Okay. I don't remember this game.
Yeah. I don't know.
It looks like a survival sort of game.
Yeah,
I just said that because he's chopping down a tree. So that's kind of a survival game staple.
There's actually
cutting down a tree and taking the wood.
There's some cool creatures and stuff in this. This actually looks.
You know what it reminds me of? Actually, this is a bad example because it's an extremely niche game. But there's a game called Outward, which is another JRPG, and it kind of reminds you of that a little bit, where it's an open world RPG that looks like it could be on the RE engine, but like it's kind of like a survival, like Skyrim mixed with survival elements. I don't know.
Looks interesting. I want to see more about it. Looks like pretty ambitious as well. Like I don't remember the name, but there've been a couple of projects where I was like, wow, that looks insane. There's no way that it's going to be like that when it comes out, but maybe it is.
Right.
But like when he was jumping off that cliff and there's all these huge creatures and you see this vast open world below you, it's like, wow, I can't wait to see that run.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah.
All right. Our next one, Final Fantasy 16. We got a story trailer, and it looked like more Final Fantasy.
It did.
Yeah.
Do you guys think this is the final one, or?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely
That's
not.
a fantasy of yours.
Ah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm sold. I'm sold on Final Fantasy 16. I've been sold. So this was a cool trailer, but I didn't need it. But
Fair.
Glad we got it. But yeah, I'm ready for Final Fantasy 16. Almost here.
You're ready for it, but yet you're terrified because you still have Zelda.
Right. Yeah. So true. So true.
This next one, me and Christian, of course, were in the audience when this game was announced at the Game Awards 2021. Alan Wake 2, giving us a new trailer. It is showing, assumedly, a new playable character, it looked like. I'm not for sure on her name. Of course, I was watching this trailer at work. I couldn't even hear any of the dialogue, so I didn't even know it was an Alan Wake game until Christian put it in our chat. Is this Alan Wake? And I was like, oh, it's Alan Wake. Okay, this is cool. And yeah, I'm very much a fan of the first game, so I'm excited to play the second one and see how they build on that. Because I think the first one is actually a really solid game that I think they could build upon and make this one like really good. Coming October 17th, as we alluded to earlier.
He was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks really cool. I haven't played the first Alan Wake, but this looks neat. So I
Well,
might give it a shot. Ooh.
I mean, if you
Is it spooky?
Sure. Yes.
Oh no, it's
I mean,
spooky.
Yeah.
Very spooky.
It is. Yeah. Actually,
Oh,
honestly, I would say the first Alan Wake almost scared me more than like Resident Evil 7 or Resident Evil 8. Resident Evil Village. Yeah.
Gotcha. Damn.
So
I mean, I saw the creepy stuff at the end, but I was like, I could handle this. I think I could handle this, but maybe I can't.
see. And actually they did. They confirmed actually when this game was announced that this is actually taking it further in the step of being a survival horror game as opposed to an action game. Because the first game, yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah. Anywho, all right. Next one, Assassin's Creed Mirage got a new trailer, and of course, we got our favorite woman in the trailer. I always want to call her by her Expanse name. I don't actually remember her real name ever. What is her real name?
I can only pronounce her first name, which is Shorey.
Sure. Okay.
I avoid using her last name because I'm self-conscious about not being able to pronounce it.
That's fair. That's fair. And it confirms yet again, as our post earlier, coming October 12th. So we already have a busy October just with those two announcements. And Mirage, I'm excited for. It looks like it's going back to the roots in my little glimpse there from that trailer.
Yes.
More stealth gameplay. Yeah. I'm down for that.
Hell yeah.
This looks like exactly what I wanted.
For
years. For many years from Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot to touch on, sorry. Alan Wake 2, digital only game they announced. And actually they said, so there is some benefit though, because they did.
There is. The reasons are good. It still makes me nervous.
Yes, that's fair. So one of the reasons was that it's only going to be $60 instead of $70 on consoles and $50 on PC. So saves $10, I guess.
Legacy prices is very, very cool of them to do. My only worry is that like all it takes is for like a couple of like small time / medium time. They're developers, but they're also publishing the game. So we'll just say publishers for the sake of the argument. Small time publishers do this for the good of the consumer, and then what'll happen is that a couple of years from now, Call of Duty will do the same thing, but without any of the we're also lowering the price. We're also like that's just where my brain goes. Like the reasons they listed out are really good, and we are getting benefits for that. That's super cool. And for a game like this, probably get away with it. But I'm just nervous. I don't like the idea of digital only games. I don't like the idea of digital only movies, digital only any art. I like to have physical, the option for physical.
That's fair. Moving on from there, we got Revenant Hill, which I kind of missed the first go around. Somebody had to help me out there.
It's from the developers from A Night in the Woods. So it has the same art style and stuff. Apparently, you are a cat, and you are on your way to become a witch's familiar. Which is an interesting idea. That sounds kind of cool.
I like it.
But yeah, that's the gist of it. I think there's a lot more that I'm missing. They put out like a blurb that was a fascinating read. But yeah, it's looks like a cool little indie game.
Heck yeah, there seems to be a trend here. Some cool indie game.
Yes, definitely.
Our next one, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, probably the greatest name of all time. It was announced coming winter of 2023. I don't even know what the hell. I don't even know how to say this name. Nonetheless, what this game is, like, there
have been a couple of other Grand Blue games. I think it's a franchise at this point or a series. I thought it was another Tales of game based off of the combat. I played Tales of Arise earlier this year and I had a blast. So I was so excited thinking that it was another one. That being said, it looks like Tales. It plays like Tales. Maybe I'll play it. I'm fine with it just being another game that plays like it. But yeah, I think it looked cool for the types of games that I like to play. Yeah, I'm totally unfamiliar with this franchise, though. If I play this, I feel like I might be a little lost. But it looks cool.
Oh yeah. I don't know what we would do without you this week, Ro, because my God, these games, me and Gage are just looking at each other like, what does this mean?
Although I do think it's mildly hilarious that like you and I both guessed different JRPG franchises and we were both wrong, that it was just something entirely different. Because you were like Tales, and I was like, oh, is this Dragon Quest? And
Both
neither of
wrong.
them. Yeah.
Neither. Oh my God.
Great. All right. Street Fighter 6 got what is probably going to be its final trailer, story trailer. So continued that train. We got a look at Ultros, which is coming in 2024. Ultros, which looks very vibrant art style.
Oh yeah, I remember this now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about this one, to be completely honest. Definitely a crazy art style, for sure. Yeah, and it's like a 2D sort of
retro.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to say Metroidvania, but I don't know. But yeah, looks kind of cool.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I wrote Perfect World Games. Is that the name of the game or the developer? Or did I screw up and not put the name?
Perfect World Games.
Screwed that up. Perfect World Games Tower of Fantasy. I didn't finish that typing, I guess. Tower of Fantasy, open world sci-fi game coming from Hada Studio.
You broke it up into two. It's right beneath that on the dock.
Oh, what the hell am I doing?
You pulled a Daniel.
Damn it, past Daniel. What are you doing? You're losing your dang gone mind. Anywho, yeah.
This is definitely a studio trying to get a piece of the Genshin Impact money for sure. Uyoverse people. Definitely looks like Genshin Impact to me.
One of the Fortnite games that game.
One of the many.
All right. Well, one that is not a Fortnite game. Dragon's Dogma 2 returns and Gage cheers.
Let's go. I'm so excited. I only played Dragon's Dogma. I jumped into it like maybe 2 years ago for the first time. I started getting hyped. I heard enough people talk about it. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pull the trigger on this random JRPG and see what happens. And my God, did I enjoy myself so immensely. Like, I don't know. I don't want to say I enjoyed it more than Skyrim because I didn't, but like the small amount of time spent in it, it feels like the highs were higher. Like, I don't know. There's something about this game, and even though I've only been a fan for a couple years of this franchise, we'll call it, even though it's just the one game, there's still that kind of concern when a game has like it's been so long from a sequel. You're kind of like, oh, is it gonna be the same, or is it gonna be one of those we reinvented the wheel and made it modern? So this trailer pretty much looks exactly like Dragon's Dogma, except with much higher graphical fidelity. And I'm sure that's exactly what a lot of the Dragon's Dogma sort of hardcore fans wanted. I know it's exactly what I wanted. So I'm very excited. Very, very excited. I've watched this like 6 times already.
Yeah. That game has like a cult following, I feel like.
Very good. It's literally a mashup between like Elden Ring and Skyrim, where it's like total like it's nowhere near as difficult as Elden Ring, but it has the same kind of like really in-depth like there's 6 main classes and then there's 24 subclasses that you can mix together, and there's your dexterity and your vigor and your health and your like it's just I don't know. It had all the right components in my mind that made it such a fun experience, and I'm very excited to see more of this. No release date or anything or window or anything, so I think this is a 2024 game at the earliest, unfortunately.
Fair enough. Keurig, I did miss. Keurig said he's very excited for Alan Wake 2, as well as he's excited for Dragon's Dogma 2 as well, Gage.
Of course he is. Keurig is based, except for when he disagrees with me, which is rarely.
Yeah, wait, was Keurig one of the ones that disagreed on Jeopardy when we had that?
So I don't know.
Yeah.
But
all right. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2, the game we've been waiting years for. Yeah.
That you remember that chart that was peaking?
Yeah.
It's gonna go up. It's about to go up right about.
It's gonna do it. Yeah. Wait, is that a PSVR game?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, you're probably right, because this is going into that segment with PSVR, so you're probably right.
God, now I don't know. Now I'm scared.
Oh no. I feel more confident in you being correct on that.
I'm gonna find out. Let's see.
Okay. Yeah, but obviously Five Nights at Freddy's, yeah, it is a PSVR game. PSVR 2. It's pretty self-explanatory. Five Nights at Freddy's, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never played any of them.
They're spooky games. You're like, I think you're at a Chuck E. Cheese like place, and the animatronics are haunted. It's kind of spooky.
Right. From what I remember, they're kind of like not necessarily on rail, but like you're limited in your mobility. You're just kind of like managing your space and trying to keep them out. But yeah, definitely. You want to talk about games with cult followings? That's like one of the like staples.
Yeah.
This next one I thought looked really cool, but I probably will never play it because I won't own a PSVR 2 unless some crazy shit happens. Anyway, Resident Evil 4 remake is coming for PSVR 2. It is in development, they announced. And man, the Resident Evil 4 remake I already love. Of course, I already said that, but man, doing this in VR, that would be so terrifying. Oh my god.
Yeah, not a chance that's happening.
You know what's weird about this? I don't have any interest in playing this in VR. Neither with the original 4 in VR. Not because I don't think it's cool. I think it sounds really cool. But there's something in my brain where I don't like playing VR games where the enemies aren't physically reacting in like a way that's conducive to VR. It's kind of, I don't know how to frame it, but like there's VR games that are built for VR where it's like you can grab their arm and wiggle them around and they'll react. Where it's like the thing with the original Resident Evil 4 VR that they launched like a year ago or whatever it was, and this one looks to be the same, is that it's literally just the player character that's the kind of been VRified, and the rest of the game still runs in the same animations. And for my mind, when I'm watching this, there's like a disconnect. It's kind of like a weird, I don't know how to describe it, but like I almost don't want to play a game like that. I want to play something that's built for VR from the ground up, where you interact with things consistently in a VR manner, if that makes sense, as opposed to it's just your movement and the combat. But like, I'm guessing you walk up to, like, obviously you'd smash the crate, but like when you walk up to a door, I'm guessing like you're just pressing a button and the door opens, or like say getting on the boat, right? You get on the boat and I'm sure it doesn't wobble. You just sit down the boat, you press the button, and now you're in that cutscene, as opposed to things that are kind of built to be interacted with physically. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like it's really noticeable in the combat. If you watch the combat, like it's just the same animations, the same sort of set things for the enemies, and it's only you that's really kind of in this space.
It totally makes sense, Gage. Like I get it completely. You want to get in a boat and make it feel like you will have to vomit.
Right, exactly. I want to vomit into my VR headset.
Of course, Christian played the original RE4 VR on Quest, so yeah.
He played it for like 2 hours and put it down. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Anywho, sorry, Christian, if you're still here. Not here.
I'm not sorry, Christian, if you're still here.
Wow, it's terrible. Brenty's joining us in YouTube chat. Good evening, fellas. Thank you.
Hello,
Brenty.
Father.
Brenty.
The real father. Josh, thank you for joining us as well. Good evening. Good evening. But moving to the next PSVR 2 game, Arizona Sunshine 2. Got a little trailer there. Gage was, I feel like, a little bit maybe excited, possibly.
Not excited, actually. I've never played the first one. It was just one of those things where I looked up and I was like, I know this is Arizona Sunshine 2. I don't know why, but I just immediately knew. So I just had to, for my pride, say that I knew. But no, I don't have any attachment with the first one per se. It looks like from what I understand, when The Walking Dead came out, it was kind of like that's the game that people wanted Arizona Sunshine to be. So in my mind, I just played that and then didn't go back. But with the sequel, who knows?
Yeah, like a campy Walking Dead, like making jokes,
right?
And such.
Also, very, very weird to do a CG trailer and try to make it look like VR gameplay, because it's like it's very. It's like, why didn't you just actually have the VR gameplay, and if not, then
Right.
I don't know. I also thought, speaking of disconnect, I thought that was a little weird when he's like fooling around with the zombie's face. I'm like, yeah, but this isn't like VR gameplay. This is just a CG. But all right, whatever. Anyways,
Indeed. We got a look at a game I'm not really that high on with their history. Smilegate announced Crossfire Sierra Squad coming to PSVR 2. Of course, Crossfire X came to Xbox, and it was not good. So, don't have much hope for this game.
My goodness. For the exception of, I guess, Five Nights at Freddy's, I feel like all the PSVR games are just another first-person shooter.
Yeah.
And they're all military first-person shooters.
Yep.
And I'm getting bored of that. I'm usually not the audience for first-person shooters anyway, with the exception of Destiny and Titanfall 2. But in that same regard, I'm never going to pick up one if they all look the same. And I'm sure there's a lot of great stories that are being told in these, but I don't know. They all kind of bleed together for me personally. And if I don't know, maybe I'm just not the audience for PSVR. But if they do want an audience, I feel like they need to make different types of games, or at least show off different types of games in these showcases that make me want to buy one, because they kind of just keep showing off the same type of game, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, as somebody who is super into like military VR, or not military VR, sorry, like the military first-person shooter aesthetic, like as long as the game feels good to play, I'll play as many of those as I want in a year. That's no problem. But even somebody like myself, like I can say, like looking at the VR portfolio, I'm like, all right, where's the variety? Because it's like, as much as I like that stuff, I play all types of games, and I enjoy playing all types of games. So even from somebody who like this would be targeted to, I'm watching this and I'm looking at these trailers. And I'm like, all right, again, like we've talked about, it'd be really cool if you utilize some of your really unique first party IP that's sitting right there, where you could maybe lean into the puzzle or the horror or stealth. But we'll do Crossfire Sierra Squad, I guess. That's fun.
Boy.
Well, maybe this one will get you excited. Synapse. For PSVR 2 coming. It's coming. You can celebrate Independence Day in America, guys. I know you guys are in Canada, but you can come down July 4th, which is 4th of July, Independence Day. Come on down, shoot some fireworks off, and play some Synapse.
And ye fucking haw, let's go.
Yeah.
I will say this looked the most unique out of the first-person shooters that we saw, but yeah, still didn't make me feel like I needed to play it.
You called this like the fast super hot or something, and I was I totally see that.
It's super hot but fast. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, it's super hot, but take out the best mechanic of super hot.
Oh man.
All right. And a game that we have seen a million times before, Beat Saber, is coming to PSVR 2, and they advertise the Queen soundtrack. So I guess pick that up, maybe. Or don't.
Or don't. I'm not your mom.
Yeah, I don't. All right, guys. Now we're getting into the real meat and potatoes here. This is the end of the show where they're just like, all right, let's wake up from this show for a minute. And guys, before I jump into this, I want to say something real quick about Bungie. And there's a reason, of course, the next thing we're going to talk about here. Can we just talk about how freaking expert Bungie is at maneuvering its way through these deals throughout the years? They were a Microsoft first-party studio that was acquired after they showed their game off called Halo at Macworld. And Microsoft's like, no, we can't let Mac have that. They buy them. They're a first-party studio, make Halo, just one of the best fucking video game franchises ever created. They say, all right, we're done with that. We're out, Microsoft. You guys keep Halo. We're going to go do something else here. Get in bed with Activision. Make a deal with them. Do all this stuff making Destiny. They're like, all right, Activision, you guys are pissing us off. We're out. Get rid of Activision. And then they go to PlayStation, and they're like, all right, PlayStation, you want to buy us? And then when you buy us, also, we're just going to make the games we want to play everywhere. We're not going to just make our games exclusive. Anyways, how are they doing this? Like, they're a first-party studio at Sony, and they're making a brand new multi-platform game.
they really do have like the Bungie name means something, right? Regardless of like the hiccups along the way, like Halo is like one of the most important first-person shooter franchises ever in the history. Even if you just want to look at the contributions that it made to console gaming and like matchmaking and all that, and then you have Destiny, which did similar things for having a like sort of seamless online slash co-op slash solo experience and mixing MMO with like first-person shooters and that kind of thing. Like, I don't know. The small part of the small brain in me says, well, they just must have a folder of dirt on everyone, and that's just how they are able to move freely through this industry. But like the realistic part of my brain is kind of like, well, I think somewhere deep down, I don't know if it's how they're able to articulate their ideas behind closed doors in like business meetings, if they have like a silver-tongued sort of devil that's just able to get them through this, or if just people recognize the utter talent and sort of like pattern that Bungie has sort of demonstrated throughout the years of making incredible franchises. I don't know, but I think it's worth mentioning, absolutely, because it's insane. Yeah. Nobody else has done this, been able to sort of move through all these different camps.
Based on their language, when Sony acquired them, like the language surrounding that acquisition was weird. And at that time, I was already thinking that this was probably what was going to happen with their next game, like outside of Destiny. And it actually happening, like just like really just was like surprising, because I'm like, wow, they actually like have done it. Like they're a first party studio, but they're still allowed to publish multi-platform. And we're getting the best of both worlds, because there's no, at least seemingly, not going to be PlayStation exclusive content like we saw with Destiny in our earlier news story. That no longer is a thing now that Activision doesn't have their greedy little hands involved and getting money in there. So yeah, like very, very exciting for me what Bungie's doing, and like they've really just masterfully worked their way through the industry at this point.
Yep, I agree.
But that leads us to what they showed off. They showed off the return of a beloved, not really beloved, but a game from their past called Marathon. They are reviving the Marathon IP. Of course, the last game came out in 1996, I think. That was their last FPS game that they made before Halo. They made, I think, Myth after that. And yeah, I'm very excited for them to do a brand new IP. Of course, this is officially confirmed to be a PvP extraction shooter. Their description here says, become a runner in Bungie's new sci-fi PvP extraction shooter. Compete for survival, riches, and renown in a world of evolving, persistent zones where any run can lead to greatness. And it will be on Xbox Series S and X, PlayStation 5, and PC. Very excited. I know this is a CG trailer, guys, but I was so hyped. They already have their website up. I went to it. They've got freaking AR games already started all over the place. They've got t-shirts with AR games built into the t-shirt, so you have to get the t-shirt, match it up, like combine it all.
Jeez.
Oh, so excited. I'm so excited.
You're ready for it.
Ready for it.
The this trailer was really cool. On the subject of CGI trailers, I think there are exceptions where it's okay. For me, I mean, like the Haven Studios game that we saw at the beginning, was not happy that it was a CGI trailer, and there's a CGI trailer that's later on that I was also not happy about, because it just looks like stuff that we've seen before, and it's from people that we don't know yet.
Yes,
true.
And
yes.
Bungie are people that we know. Marathon is a franchise that we've heard of before, and now we know it looks like this. We didn't see gameplay, but we know what it is. We know that it's an extraction shooter, PvP. So I think that's okay. Metal Gear Solid is another example where I totally fine that was just a CGI trailer, because it's Metal Gear Solid. We know what Metal Gear Solid is. And those are the instances where I'm okay with it. But the other times where there's like a CGI trailer for a game from a studio that we don't know anything about, from a game that we've never heard of, it's like, okay, like what is this? Is this a new animated movie that's coming out later this year? Like what is this? Yeah. But this was cool. I really like the art direction of this, as I said in the chat, and I think we all agree that Bungie just like the art is like insane. Like Halo skyboxes, everything in Halo is like incredible. Destiny, there's a Clovis Bray is a particular creator or character in Destiny, and all of the stuff surrounding Clovis Bray is like this. It's like stark white colors on red and blue, and it looks so cool in Destiny. And this is just like more of that style. And I'm totally down for that art style. So I can't wait to see what it looks like gameplay wise. But again, it being CGI didn't really turn me off because it looks so freaking cool. And it's Bungie. We know Bungie. Bungie's cool.
Bungie is cool. Bungie is certified cool.
Bungie's cool.
The cool kids.
Yeah. Oh, and also with the first-person shooter talk that I was talking about earlier, how they just aren't for me, with the exception of Destiny. It's because Destiny it feels different. Like it's either the guns are really cool or the power-ups that are happening. It separates itself from the other first-person shooters that are out there, and I feel like Marathon may be able to do that as well.
I wouldn't say you're contradicting yourself there, because Destiny is very much a fantasy shooter. Like that definitely has its own unique feel, and like, I mean, you're playing as a warlock or a hunter, like a gunslinger or a warlock or a titan, which is all of those things are based in like different kind of like, oh, you're the warrior, or you're the ranger, or you're the mage, like that. It does have its own unique feel. I wouldn't say that. Yeah, you're not jumping around corners, bunny hopping, getting 360 no scopes, and that's not what competitive competitive Destiny looks like. It plays totally differently. So I agree with you. I think that's totally an exception. That's fair. And with your original point that like Bungie's an established studio, we know what they do well. We know. I doubt this is going to be a racing game, right? So the CGI trailer is. So the CGI trailer is easier to swallow when it comes to. You're exactly right. When it comes to an established studio with a certain style like that, when Bungie's making a whole new franchise, because it's Bungie, I am more curious about what is this going to look like, what's this going to feel like. So I do think that not all CGI trailers are created equally. However, there are some constants in which is like, don't run out and pre-order this game because you saw a CGI trailer. Like, don't do that. That's not good.
Yeah.
But I liked what I saw. I really liked what I saw.
Yeah. It looks real interesting. A little Q&A that they're doing. Is this a remake or a sequel to the original Marathon trilogy? The game takes place in the same world as the original Marathon trilogy, but is not a remake or a direct sequel. Just some clarification there.
Cool.
Very cool. Also, shout out Lars Bakken. He is one of the OGs. Like, he's been there since like Halo 3 days, and he is the senior design lead on Marathon. He's been working on this for a while now. So very excited for him. Also the team, very cool that they're finally able to do this, because this game has been rumored since like 6+ years ago, before Destiny 2 came out, because remember, this was the game that Bungie wanted to dedicate like 15% of their staff to work on this game. But Activision said, no, you're not doing that. We need Destiny 2 out. Like, you got to transfer everyone to this. So, yeah, it's very cool that they're finally able to do this, because they've obviously wanted to do it for a while now. So, very cool.
Heck yeah.
But enough about Marathon. And into another Bungie property here. Destiny, the final shape, got a little teaser trailer here. And of course, we got to look that old Cade 6 maybe still alive here, bro. What?
Oh my goodness. Cade is back. And Nathan Fillion is reprising his role. I remember for a little bit, they switched the voice actor to Nolan North, I think, for a little bit.
Wait, they did?
Yeah, there was or am I thinking about Ghost? I might be thinking about Ghost.
That's
Ghost. Yeah. They switched from Peter Dinklage to Ghost.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought he got recast, but he didn't. He just died.
Yes.
But no, he's back. I don't know how he is back. I'm excited to see how they decide to explain that, because of course Guardians can be revived, but only by their ghosts. And Cade's ghost was killed, so that's why he couldn't come back. So I'm interested to see how they explain that. I hope it's not something silly, and I hope it's something cool. But with this being the final expansion, putting out all the stops, I hope it's going to be awesome, because we know how I felt, at least with Witch Queen not being super great story-wise. But I'm holding out hope that this is good. We'll see more apparently on August 22nd when they have their showcase for this. But yeah, I'm hyped that Cade is back. This is very cool, and it's every time I every time I see this news, I get reminded like Lance Reddick has sadly tragically passed away, that he won't be here to witness this as well. But still, really cool that Cade's back. Awesome stuff.
I will say, warning to, well, you're the only person I know that loves Destiny in my in my fan base, but in case there's anybody else watching, that there, I guess there is. I'm just looking at this because I'm an internet dweller. I guess there was like a bunch of leaks for this final DLC that were dismissed, but now this trailer kind of has proven it. So just if this is the final story expansion, keep an eye out for spoilers, because that's one of the things I'm reading right now, where it's like, revisiting this leak, and it's like a whole big thing. And I'm like, yeah, this is definitely this looks like what we were shown. So be careful, folks.
Don't tell us.
I won't.
And here I was,
dies immediately.
Here I was thinking, I was so impressed. Like, wow, how did this not leak? Cade is coming back. No, it did. Apparently,
this is like one of those. I don't know what was it. There was one big. It would have been Red Dead 2. There was something where a leak came out. And everybody's like, no, that's not real. And then the trailer came out, and they're like, that's real. That is real. One of those situations. So keep careful.
Just keep dodging it then.
Yeah.
Kirik has a half good take, half bad take. I'm gonna speak some truth. Bungie struck gold with Halo, but someone shat in their pants and passed it off as Destiny. No! Get out of here, Kirik. Get out of here.
Kirik, no!
Wait, which one is he talking shit on? He's talking shit on Destiny?
Yes.
Hell yeah, Kirik. Hell yeah, base as fuck.
Yeah.
Base as fuck. Hell yeah.
Destiny 1, I can make an argument for. Early Destiny 2, I can make an argument for. But no, Destiny right now, it's good. Real good. I didn't love the story, but gameplay? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
All right, guys. Let's flow it, keep it flowing, because we're running long, and I don't want Gage to be late. Firewalk's game, Concord, is coming in 2024. So here it is. It's another.
There's a burger. I saw a burger.
Is that what that one was? I was trying to think of what trailer that was. This was like the
it was in
Starfield-esque trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah. Another
just do some gameplay.
Yeah, another new studio that gave us CG.
Yeah.
Well.
In place. Okay, that's not the word. That's not the part that makes it bad. In place of you could have a first party studio showing something off. That's the big thing, right? It's not like I want to clarify my take. I'm not sitting here saying that indies aren't cool. It's just you skipped a year. It's been almost 600 days since you've had a showcase. And we're getting CGI trailers from brand new studios instead of seeing what Cory Barlog's working on, seeing what Neil's up to.
To be fair, anyways, Firewalk is a PlayStation studio now. They acquired them.
Now. Emphasis on now.
They acquired them in April, I think, of 2023. Yeah, so a month ago.
Established IP, I should say, instead of studios.
Fair enough. All right. Then we got our PlayStation Project Q handheld, which appears to be literally a DualSense controller cut in half with a screen in the middle. So that's kind of interesting.
Doesn't look real when I look at it. Yeah. It looks like when I search up like Xbox handheld when I was a kid. Like, this is not a thing.
It's kind of insane because it's the fact that it is a streaming service, and to be fair, it is or a streaming thing, and it has, it's they're not hiding that, but it's like you're literally just buying. You're Daniel, like it's just a screen. It's not like you can take it apart and there's a piece of content that works, or like hardware. Like it's literally just a screen.
Right.
Like oh my god, what a baffling choice.
I'm excited to see the cost of it.
True.
$300. $300 easy.
I would say it's probably not going to be less than 150, which is
insane.
Pretty steep, but yes, you can stream from your PS5. It is not a native device. You have to stream to this device via Wi-Fi or whatnot. Keep an eye out for that. We also got to look at PlayStation earbuds. I don't know how excited we are for the thumbs up.
I like the design of them. Two-tone. Okay. And especially for earbuds. It's black where it should be black, and it's white where it should be white. It's
I like the case.
I like the case too. It slides like I thought it looked kind of neat.
Cool. It's cool.
I like it.
Even though I'm wearing these, I actually hate over-ears headphones. I much prefer clocking something in my ear. I think with the glasses, it just gets annoying after a while. But,
oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, and if they truly are zero loss, like zero latency, like that would be such a good. I could see that me having that, keeping those right next to my PlayStation, and when it's time to play without it going through the TV, just pop those guys in, easy peasy.
Hell yeah. All right, the meat of the show, Spider-Man 2 got an extended look. Now, bro, we can praise your shirt, the Amazing Spider-Man on your shirt. Let's go.
Thank you.
I'll let you. How about you start us off, Ro? Spider-Man 2.
Sure. It looks so good. It looks so good. Oh my god. I think I'm going to talk a little bit more about the story side of it rather than the gameplay. But I'm so interested to see how they tackle the symbiote stuff with because I think in the last game, at the end of it, spoilers for the first game if you haven't finished it, Harry Osborn was the one being experimented on with the symbiote suit. So I'm interested to see how Peter gets it, but I love like the darker side of Peter that we get when he gets the suit in the movies and in the comics and all that kind of stuff. And this Peter especially is in like a pretty dark place with Aunt May freaking dying and not being able to save Dr. Octavius in the last game, Harry Osborn potentially in this game. MJ probably isn't okay with this, so she's probably out of the picture too. So Peter's probably very sad. So I'm going to be very excited to see how much the symbiote affects that and how dark he gets. I love like the situations that he was in when actually he was saving people, and when he saved those people, he just like tossed them to the side in the trailer, and Miles was like, what's wrong with you? And when he was beating up the bad guys, he was like so like visceral with like there was a scene where he just like kicks one of the guys on the wall like repeatedly, and the idea of like Peter usually holds back his punches is like totally on display here, where he's like, yes, he does, he's fucking up these guys right now. I really love that stuff. But the one thing that I was worried about with this game was, after playing Miles Morales, is how much fun I had playing as Miles. Going back to Peter, I was like, I don't know if I want to play as Peter. I want to play as Miles. He's so much fun to swing around with. This absolutely quells those worries. Like, this is going to be so much fun to switch between the two of them, because Miles has a new upgrades too, and playing as the symbiote version of Peter looks like it has a lot of tricks up his sleeves too, that it's going to make it a lot more fun. Yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah, the alley-oop, right?
Yeah. Oh my god. I can't wait. I love that you could switch between them too, and it's not your choice. It has to do with the story. I love that as well. Where I feel like if they allowed you to switch whenever you wanted to, it wouldn't be as meaningful. So I like that they tell you when you could switch.
Yeah, you covered the like story explanation type stuff, but like the gameplay stuff with the symbiote suit, that looks insane. Like at one point he freaking picks up 4 people with his little things coming tentacles out. Yeah, it's like, this is gonna be wild, because like we could have literally 3 distinct play styles for this game, having, normal Spider-Man suit for Peter, the symbiote suit for Peter, and then Miles. So like you're gonna have 3 distinct flavors of gameplay, maybe even 4 if Miles somehow gets the symbiote suit at some point. Like, that sounds so cool to me. Like, yeah, and the set piece that they showed off here at the end was really cool. I like that a lot, and I know there's a lot of like quick time type stuff in there, but like it looked so cool. Like, just having everything together, like jumping from ship to ship, or not ship, jet ski, jet ski to jet ski. That was really cool.
I thought this showing, we'll call it, of the game started off really strong. I really liked the tone that the first little CGI / in-engine bit sort of showed off. And yeah, I'm very excited. I need to get caught up. I need to play Miles Morales, get myself fully caught up in the story. But from a writing standpoint, I want to double down on what Rashan said, where this is really good. I don't know if you want to call it sequel writing or franchise writing, but like everything that Rashan was explaining about where Peter is in his life personally, and how that is and how they're now deciding on when to bring in the symbiote, specifically to kind of go with what's happening in his personal life and everything he's gone through. Really good writing. Like, it's a really good flow of like story. So I don't know. The first game has set this up perfectly, and like a lesser studio would have tried to get the most recognizable villain into the first Spider-Man game on their first big swing on things. A lesser studio might have tried to put, Harry Osborn in there and try and put as many emotional beats as possible in the first game, but it seems like they are really smart in terms of knowing when they want to pull from the archives of Spider-Man and the stories that we all know that happen in that universe. So I'm incredibly impressed. When I played Spider-Man, Insomniac Spider-Man for the first time, I was blown away. I'm procrastinating on Miles Morales, but it's one of those things where it's like, instead of procrastinating something you don't want to do, it's like, I know when I pull a pin on that, I'm going to have such a great time with it. And same with this one. I'm watching this and I'm like, I know this is only the tip of the iceberg. If this is anything like the first one, what we're all seeing even in terms of set pieces, scripted set pieces, there's going to be 2 or 3 more that are even more insane. So very excited. And yeah, I think, I don't know. Just nothing but positive things to say about the Spider-Man showing. I wish we had more things like that during the showcase that we could gush about.
And that is definitely a concern. But we got a lot of CG stuff, and we got a lot of indie games that looked really cool. I think you hit the nail on the head. But Spider-Man looks fucking amazing.
So good. Yeah, I think it. Go ahead.
I was gonna mention that it's crazy to think that that there's still a potential that Green Goblin can come in later in a third game potentially. That's like you mentioned that like Venom, like the iconic character that they waited to hold out for, they're still holding out on Green Goblin, which is arguably the most iconic, which is so exciting to me.
Man, Spider-Man 3 with Hobgoblin and Green Goblin.
Yes, please.
Yeah. And who knows if they wanted to add any other people in as well, right? So it'll be exciting to see where they go.
Let me run through these real quick. If you're curious which games in this showcase were multi-platform, Xbox has you covered here. They posted a little post here. Immortals of Avium, Ghost Runner 2, Marathon, Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake, Dragon's Dogma 2, Alan Wake 2, The Plucky Squire, Teardown, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Neva, Cat Quest, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Talos Principle 2 are all multi-platform, so you're on other platform. There you go.
I want to quickly shout out Okami Games, who quote tweeted that, because Xbox had that snarky little comment to say like, "Oh, look at all these games coming to Xbox," and I agree with him 100%. He's like, "This is pretty funny, or whatever." But like, if you're saying this type of shit, you better be like hitting a home run when you do your showcase. Because if they come out and they have an equally kind of, I won't say that this is universally a disappointing showcase, but like if they have something that's not spectacular, then I don't know what you're bragging about or what you're trying to stir shit with, because you guys are in the hot seat right now. But I do kind of like this, because some of these games, they didn't say that they were coming to multi-platform. They just
all of them
showed up there.
Yeah.
Right. So it's nice to get confirmation like, oh, these ones are coming to Xbox. Cool.
All right. Predictions. We had a lot of predictions here. Just run through them. My predictions: Team Asobi announces a new Astrobot game. Didn't happen. Bluepoint announces a new Bloodborne game. Didn't happen. I'll save my last one before.
That's the only one that did happen. I went through these already. Just so we're aware. Only one of these predictions came true.
Yeah. So Rose predictions: Eternites release date. Didn't happen. Zansaro Games making a new Sly Cooper game. Didn't happen. Persona 3 remake teaser. Didn't happen. Sony. Christian. I don't know why I said Sony. Christian's predictions. Kojima Productions teaser for an unannounced project developed for PSVR 2. Didn't happen. Stellar Blade gets a gameplay trailer with release date in October. Didn't happen. Bluepoint announces a new game is not Metal Gear Solid, is a new IP. Didn't happen. The Last of Us Factions gameplay and release date. Sorry, Gage. It did not happen. SOCOM routines returns with the teaser. Sorry, Gage, that did not happen. Wolverine gameplay plus release window definitely did not happen. The only one that came true, my last prediction, Bungie's next project, Marathon Revival. Boom, let's go.
Someone
Dan
stop
wins
this
again.
man.
Fucking great. What a fucking surprise.
He keeps winning these things.
Let's go.
Keep getting away with it.
I can and I will. All right. Anything else before we close out the show, guys?
Nothing. Disappointing show. Disappointing show because we still don't know about the future of PlayStation, which is what we thought we were all getting.
Yeah.
We don't know what's coming outside of 2023, right? They don't have anything announced for 2020. Well, we assume Wolverine
at
is
some point, yeah.
right, but they don't have any confirmed title. Like, come on, I don't know. For 600 days, I don't know if I was.
Caribbean.
Yeah.
That comes out next year. But yeah,
True.
the first party stuff, yeah, we still confused about.
But
Good cadence though. Good cadence of a showcase. This is what I want from an hour-long showcase. Trailer after trailer after trailer. Talk when you need to. Explain the hardware bits. That's it.
Absolutely. But you know who's never confused? Our audience. And thank you to our audience that is watching us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Thank you, Ro. Thank you, Gage. Thank you, Christian, for joining us earlier. I am Daniel, and this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love, and keep on gaming.
See ya.
Peace and love, brethren.